Hello, I wanted to get a new radio, something that was small, light, portable, something not too expensive that still sounds decent though, for using in the bathroom, and therefore it might be exposed to steam and moisture and everything, so I don't want to put a really expensive radio in there, and something I can take on an upcoming camping trip. So I went onto Amazon and bought these 5 just to have a look. I have done another longer video of this, but that runs to about 25 odd minutes, so this one is a shorter version if you don't want to invest that amount of time in watching me rambling on about radios, and I can't blame you if you don't. So all these radios have got a built-in battery. They're all USB-C rechargeable because I can't be doing with carrying extra little micro USB cables just to charge my radio. So USB-C. They've all got DAB Plus and FM radio, and all except this little eyewear. I've also got Bluetooth, so you can play your music from your phone through them. But that's not really what I wanted it for. I just wanted a little radio. So this brief summary is just going to look at 4 main areas: audio quality, ease of use, battery life and design. Let's just go through the radios really quickly. These were all bought from Amazon right at the end of June 2025. And this one was the Miket DAB radio for $29.99. This one was the WAVT portable DAB radio, priced at £22.94. This one's brand name is Galipec, but on Amazon it was just described as DAB portable. Got a little solar panel on the back there, and this one was $29.99. This one is the Aiwa RD40 DAB, and this one was $19.99. And I've seen this price much higher on other websites, so that was good. And then this one is the Roberts Rambler Mini, and this was on sale on Amazon at £54.95p. So it's a radio, it's an audio device, so I suppose certainly one of the major factors in whether it's a good radio is how good they sound. So I've just done a couple of short audio clips, comparing them all briefly for Speech on Radio 4. I listen to Speech Radio a lot, and then briefly on a music track that was on BBC Six Music on there. Not sure if that'll be copyright infringed or not, but just short audio samples. Have a listen and see what you think.
The leader of Labour's biggest union backer, Unite, has raised the possibility that it may stop funding the party. It comes out over the Deputy Prime Minister's role in the Birmingham bin strikes. Sources close to Ms Rayner said she had already quit Unite. The union's General Secretary, Sharon Graham, said members were disappointed about Home Office figures show that more than 900 people have attempted to cross the Channel in small boats since Thursday, when Sir Keir Starmer signed his new one-in, one-out deal with President Macron. Immediately returned to France, while an equivalent number would be accepted into the UK. Catherine Norris-Trent from the broadcaster France 24 says the pilot scheme has raised some concerns. A customer watchdog says the number of households in England and Wales applying for water meters has doubled in the space of a year as people try to cut their bills. The Consumer Council for Water obtained data from suppliers suggesting
So I think all these radios sounded pretty decent, really. None of them are super tinny or anything. There's still a load of really tinny radios you can buy, and all of these sounded decent. The Aiwa does struggle a little bit more with music. It can't quite match the bass frequencies as well as the others, but it still sounds decent, and I'd be happy enough to use it. It's just a small portable radio. This one, the Galipec solar radio, that sounded pretty decent as well. you can see there's a really tiny kind of bass port in there, which does just help with a little tiny bit of warmth when listening to this radio. These two are basically the same radio, but they do sound slightly different. I found this black one, what was this one called? The WAV-T. It just sounds a little bit warmer than this one, but these both sounded quite nice and relatively rich. And then the Roberts Rambler Mini, well, that's just slightly bigger, a single bigger speaker. It sounds pretty decent. I like all of them for listening to speech. In terms of music, I think this black one here or the Roberts probably just have the edge. Next thing I want to just talk about quickly is the ease of use. The radio has to be easy to use. A couple of these, this is just going to be really brief overview because I want this video to be relatively short. So these are all really easy to use. It really frustrates and annoys me when radios have a button that you have to press and hold to switch the radio on and off. I just don't like that. And this one, and this one all have that. It's only a matter of a couple of seconds, but you have to stand there and hold the button to switch them on and again to switch them off. It's just really annoying. Whereas this one, the little Galipec, that has a slide over switch, so that's instant and it just boots up in a couple of seconds. But the best one of all is the Roberts Rambler Mini. It's just a press of that button and it boots up in a few seconds, and when you're finished, press it again to turn it off. So those two are the least frustrating out of all of these radios. I haven't needed to refer to the user manuals for any of these radios. They're all fairly intuitive to use. They all do have a sleep timer, which is really important in a portable radio. I don't want to fall asleep and wake up and find my radio dead, so a sleep timer is essential. These have all got them. They're buried in the menus a little bit on these four, but the Aiwa definitely implements this the best because it's got a dedicated sleep button there that you just click and you can select how long you want the radio to play for before it'll switch off. So excellent that that's got a dedicated button on there. Really good. But good that they all do have a sleep timer. Another really important factor in a radio, which is really nice to have, is presets, and these do all have presets and they're all fairly easy to access and to store. But I've got to tip the nod to these three really because they've got at least four dedicated buttons to save your four favourites for really quick instant access without having to scroll or anything, so that's good. But yes, they've all got presets. Next thing I wanted to look at was battery life. Again, these are portable radios and I won't always be using these on mains power, so battery life is an important factor, and these all performed quite well, I'll say. This one, the Miket, ran for 15 hours and 58 minutes. This one, the WAV-T, ran for 16 hours and 6 minutes. These two are basically the exact same internals, just in a slightly different box. So I did expect the battery performance to be similar for these two, and it was around about 16 hours. Pretty good. This one, the, what's it called? Galipec. That one actually ran for 17 hours and 21 minutes. It wasn't sat in sunlight, so it wasn't getting any benefit from having this solar panel on the back. So yeah, I was quite chuffed with that one. 17 hours and 21 minutes. Just to say, all three of these, this one, and this one, all have a 2,200 milliamp hour battery. The Rambler Mini has a 2,600 milliamp hour battery, so I would have expected this one to last longer, and it did. This one ran for 19 hours and 23 minutes. But the real surprise was this Aiwa, which only has a 2,000 milliamp hour battery, but it ran for 20 hours and 32 minutes. That's amazing. I don't know how they managed to squeeze that much battery life out of this radio, which is smaller, has a smaller battery. Maybe because there's not quite as much bass pumping through that speaker. But yeah, dead impressed with that. Decent battery life on all of them. But the Aiwa, yeah, was the winner there. Nice. I charged them all up when I got them. Set them all running at just ever so slightly over half volume and left them running on DAB on Radio 4. So that was just performance on DAB, Radio 4, just speech radio. I would expect that figure might be decreased listening to music because of the increased power needed to express those wider frequencies in music. Final consideration, because it does play a part in any of your purchasing decisions, doesn't it? Or it does for me anyway, is just the design of them. These three generic Chinese no-name brands, they're not particularly very nice, are they? This one in particular is fairly unattractive. But it's got some great features. DAB, FM, Bluetooth. Also got a slot there for a USB stick or an SD card in there, so you can play music from external devices on there. This one does also have a replaceable battery, which is a really nice touch, lacking in any of the other radios. These two, they're boring as hell, aren't they? They're not hideous, but they're just a bit bland and boring and plasticky. They're all plasticky, but yeah, they look okay. The Aiwa, I do quite like the look of this one. It's retro, but in a different way to the Roberts, and it looks quite nice. It's got a metal grille, none of the others have, and it's quite small, so I like that one. But the clear winner easily here is the Roberts Rambler Mini. It's just plastic. These end pieces are plastic, not real wood, but it's quite nicely made, and it looks nice still. It does capture the spirit of the old 70s original Rambler models, so that's easily the nicest looking radio. So these are all okay, and for very little money really. The Roberts costs a bit more than the rest, but you're always going to pay more for a branded Roberts radio than these cheaper models off Amazon. But yeah, these are all decent. I'd be happy to use and keep any of these as a cheap kind of knockabout radio, which is what I wanted. But I think I've deliberated a bit. It was always going to be this one I was going to keep right from the start. Good battery life, decent sound, looks really nice, easy to use, but this one surprised me. Can't quite match the audio quality of these other ones for music. I'll be using this mostly for speech radio, but the cheap price, 20 quid, an amazing battery life, mean that this one is probably the one I will keep. 20 quid, can't go wrong. Over 20 hours of battery life, yeah, brilliant. But what do you guys reckon? I hope that's been of use to somebody, and thank you for having a look. I hope to see you soon in the next one. Ta-ra for now. See ya.